afternoon and welcome to your weekly news program from the territory on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. It is time again to give you updates on news stories as well as reports beaming the searchlight on communities within the nation's capital. Taking a look at the beauties of some challenges in these communities. Sit back and enjoy the package. I am Aisha Obale. I'll be right back shortly. Now, let's begin on a religious note. A grateful heart is a master key to opening more doors. This was a charge to Christians to give thanks in every circumstance. This and more was the emphasis from the Thanksgiving of Rivers Community Women Wing of Mercy Seat Assembly Kubwa. And this package will come in our subsequent bulletin. As part of efforts to improve road infrastructure in the nation's capital, the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, Newsom Wike, will on Monday, 11th September 2023, flag off the resurfacing and rehabilitation of existing roads and remedial works on bridges of major roads in the FCT. In a statement signed by the Director of Press to the Minister, Anthony Ogunleye, the resurfacing project, which will cover 135 roads within Garki, Wuse, Gwarimpa, and Mitama districts, will give the resurfaced road a new lease of life. The flag-off ceremony will take place at 2 p.m. along the Ladoki Akintola Boulevard, Garki 2, Abuja. This will be the first major infrastructural development project of the minister, who has expressed his determination to ensure a rapid infrastructural development of the nation's capital. Now, the present economic challenges Nigeria is passing through have been likened to the pains of a woman in labor, which end in relief when the child is born. This was a unanimous opinion of stakeholders at the inauguration of state executives of the APC Southwest Forum FCT chapter. Ifeoma Ojinta reports.
The newly sworn-in executives of the Forum, a political umbrella of all Yorubas in the APC, were enjoined to imbibe the spirit of service and be fair to all in the discharge of their duties.
With my administration, we are going to work hard to ensure that in all the 6 area councils, all the party structures, that our people will be there, be part of from the local government ESCO, ward ESCOs, and even state ESCO.
No alternative to democracy. And that is the sign today that even here you can have the Yoruba Forum of APC, you can have the Igbo Forum of the FCT, you can have the TIF Forum of APC. That's telling you that the grassroots have now come to embrace democracy.
We will ask them to live up to the expectation of their people first. Let me be very sincere with you, the Yorubas need to really wake up from their earlier sleep. In the FCT, they've not been like this before, but I'm happy now that they're coming together.
It was triple celebration, as the event was also to celebrate the victory of President Tinubu at the Presidential Election Petition Court and his 100 days in office. Notable party stalwarts in attendance appealed to Nigerians to be patient, as things can only get better.
To be in government for 100 days is not a small feat. He has set Nigeria to the path of greatness.
100 days is 100 ways of doing what has never been done before.
I can assure us that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that I know, is not the one that will be on the driver's seat of this nation and Nigeria will go down. No, Nigeria will be better for it.
Some Nigerians were recognized as heroes of democracy. The APC Southwest Forum FCT chapter was established in 2017 with the aim of bringing the Yorubas and the APC together to achieve a common political goal. Ifeoma Ojinta, NTA News.
Thank you, Ifeoma. And away from politics. About 3 weeks ago, a Lagos socialite, Farida Shobowale, in a suicidal move to take her own life, would have jumped into the Lagos Lagoon. But for the conscious intervention of road users, abundance of incidences, such as Farida's case, are key evidences in the global call to strengthen awareness and highlight the need for mental health literacy and anti-stigma campaigns. Onotu Yakubu in this report takes a look at the issues embedded in this year's World Suicide Prevention Day as a major public health challenge.
Farida Sobowale's case is one out of hundreds of thousands on a global suicidal indices, which did not enjoy such preventive intervention.
As we like to refer to them in Nigeria, you're talking about someone who is dealing with a mental disorder. So that could include depression or anxiety or bipolar. And this is one of the reasons why it's very important for a person to seek therapy, so that if it's something that they're dealing with, they can handle it before it gets to such an extreme case that suicide becomes an option.
World Suicide Prevention Day represents a global commitment to focus attention on issues, reduce stigma, and create awareness amongst institutions to provide worldwide commitment and action to prevent suicide. Clinical psychologist Dr. Godwin Alechenu worries that suicide is a major psycho-emotional and mental health challenge evidenced in the high rate of depression and anxiety and on an astronomical rise across Nigeria that is not given due attention.
One of the signs of someone who has suicidal ideation is loneliness, because the society now is no longer friends to such an individual. It is now our responsibility as individuals, as community, to embrace anyone who is having suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, because most of them will not even say it, but their actions and the words they speak most times will give us clue that, yes, this person is having suicidal ideation or suicidal thoughts.
For preventive measures, experts say there is need to show more love and care to people around, as causes of suicide might vary.
Some persons their suicidal thought might be as a result of drug use. So you don't castigate such an individual. You show the person love, and most times they just need people to instill hope in them.
Have empathy. Do not talk to the person like you're fighting with them, or don't be harsh with them. Don't try to talk them out of it in a violent or aggressive manner. Rather, be very patient with them. Explain to them, first of all, that you care about them, and that is the reason why you do not want them to kill themselves.
World Suicide Prevention Day was established in 2003 by the International Association of Suicide Prevention in conjunction with the World Health Organization to focus attention on issues, reduce stigma, and raise public awareness. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
And the next report is looking at the issue of safety, and that decision to act appropriately with first aid can make the difference between life and death. As the World First Aid Day is being observed, Hakimat Aliyu brings a spotlight on this global emergency procedure, which is an age-long response.
First aid refers to the emergency or immediate care provided when a person is injured or ill until full medical treatment is available. According to medical health experts, for minor conditions, first aid care may be enough, while in severe situations, first aid care should be continued until more advanced care becomes available. September, this year's celebration of World First Aid Day raises awareness about how and when first aid should be administered. The search for answers to questions regarding the day brings me to Simeon Wabwani, the FCT Branch Secretary in Nigerian Red Cross Society.
First aid is our core competence. We start everything we do. We are into so many programs, quite all right. But any Red Cross member, one of the first things we do is to make sure that you understand first aid. We train you in first aid, and that's why I say it's our core competence. We don't play with first aid, and it must be a skilled thing. You know, virtually everybody is a first aider. Virtually everybody is a first aider, because when something happens now, everybody goes out to assist and to help. That is giving is the first assistance. But we in Red Cross, we always like it to be that thing that you have learned and understand. So that's why we say it's a first skilled assistance given.
While emphasizing the significance of the day, Mr. Simeon noted that millions of lives have been saved through appropriate first aid. He added that there is need for everyone not just to have a first aid box, but to also try to be knowledgeable on how it is used.
Because if you learn first aid and anything happen, suddenly around you, you know what to do.
As the world commemorates 2023 World First Aid Day, the focus is on digital innovations and how first aid can save lives every day, especially in crisis situations. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu.
First aid to casualties and the needy in society is one of the core mandates of Red Cross Society. The Federal Capital Territory branch of the Nigerian Red Cross Society commemorates the World First Aid Day in conjunction with a non-governmental organization in Abuja. Odiri Ogborarisere has that report.
A young entrepreneur, Henry Donant, founded First Aid to assist victims of war or accident casualties. To this end, FCT branch of Nigerian Red Cross, led by the branch secretary, Simeon Wambani, is commemorating World First Aid Day in Abuja to train people on how to render first aid to victims and casualties.
World First Aid Day, and we are not just doing it alone. To make people know that first aid is something everybody should know, so that if you are there when anything emergency happen, you'll be able to take care of the casualties who are involved.
The day's event began with anaerobic activities in the early hours of Saturday, which gradually moved into a training on how to render first aid to persons with dislocation, fracture, bleeding, amongst others. The training officer, Nigerian Red Cross FCT branch, Omenikolo Ikena, demonstrated how to take care of victims with bandages.
Today we dealt decisively with fracture, dislocation, sprain and strain, what you can do in order to help people in such a situation.
Meanwhile, Julie Brahma Women and Children Initiative, a non-governmental organization, says it is partnering with the Nigerian Red Cross in order to take the message home to children and women who are more vulnerable in the society.
Accidents don't occur just at workplaces, at homes. It occurs everywhere. So there's a need for us to come join the Red Cross to learn a whole lot about those basic skills about the first aid.
The 2023 theme of World First Aid Day is First Aid in the Digital World. In Abuja, Odiri Ogboru, Arutere, and TA News.
The International Day to Protect Education from Attack on 9th September is an occasion to raise awareness about pressing issues of attacks on schools, students, education personnel, and teachers worldwide. It serves as a reminder that children and youth continue to face conflicts, violence, and disruptions to their education, undermining their peaceful and nurturing environment. Hadiza Godwin spoke to some educationists on the issue.
Research indicates that without access to education, a generation of children living in conflict areas will grow up without the skills they need to contribute their quota to economic development. Educationists believe child rights to education cannot be safeguarded in conflict zones without education itself being protected. The day draws attention to the plight of more than 75 million between 3 to 18 years living in 35 crisis-affected countries and to their urgent need of educational support.
A lot of things that are happening because education has virtually been relegated. I think we need to really put education at the forefront and then give it that priority. And by the time we do that, we'll find that every other thing will work out well. By the time we have educated manpower in the country, then this our population will be very useful.
The General Assembly resolution affirms that governments have the primary responsibility to provide protection and ensure inclusive and equitable quality education at all levels.
Hadiza Godwin Ebuni, NTA News.
Do you want to have your say on television? Are you interested in airing your views? Do you want to send greetings to your loved ones? Or do you want to make musical requests for your beloved? Do you want to showcase your products and services? For all these and more, join us live every Sunday at 1:30 p.m. on The Sunday Show. The Sunday Show will give you opportunities weekly to know more about trending things and topical issues. The Sunday Show, your indispensable companion every weekend.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now let's take you to some of those communities in the FCT. Residents of Karamajigi in the FCT have commended efforts of the government in ensuring functional health care facility in the community. Hakimat Aliyu brings us a report on her visit to the clinic at the community located off the airport road. We sincerely apologize for the poor audio in that report. Gusape is a fast rising, aside being luxurious, it is also strategic as host community for infrastructural development in a quiet neighborhood. Aisha Bashir looks at this layout, which is attracting real estate boom.
The rising demand for housing in Nigeria in general and the federal capital city, Abuja in particular, has placed a high premium on land as a key component in the house production process. Guzape is not left out. A visit to Guzape community in the Asokoro extension of the FCT lays credence to the saying, poverty in the midst of plenty. In this community, the poor and the wealthy exist side by side, but are divided by high fences securing the towering edifices that dot the landscape. Unlike other areas within the FCT, people seem to pick interest in Guzape despite its proximity from the city center.
Apart from the prices that has increased, some of these items are not being gotten locally here in the country, and that also increase the cost of whatever you are bringing into the country. So it is difficult before you find affordable houses without affordable finance.
When it comes to the residential accommodation, the Federal Capital Territory presents a bundle of contradictions. Tens of sprawling residential housing estates adorn the various emerging districts and landscapes within Guzape district and its environs. Aisha Bashir, NTA News.
Kogoma is a major developing district in Abuja Municipal Area Council, but within the area is a rural Dogon Gada community. Aisha Abdullahi visited Dogon Gada and tells us about petty trade by the villagers in this interior settlement.
This is Dogon Gada community in Lokogoma. It is one among numerous areas in Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, with rising matters of bad roads during the rainy season and also non-availability of a modern market structure. But despite the absence of high-level commercial venture, there exist petty traders. Products available for petty trade include grains, vegetable, other food items, and provisions. The absence of a modern market has led to a hike in price of most products in Dogon Gada. The rural dwellers here say transport difficulties and bad roads are taking a toll on them. Some residents say they have to go as far as other communities to buy a variety of items in their markets.
Sometimes, there is a village close by here called Kabusa, so we do go there to buy some things because there are some places that are selling wholesales. So, and sometimes we go inside town to get one or two things. Not really, but sometimes you can get, based on what you needed. Exactly, sometimes if you go to the Kabusa market, you can get everything you need. But if you can't, sometimes you go to Suleja, Suba, all those places, so you get them.
Look at the fuel price now. That's what makes the market now more expensive. So when you go out to go and get goods, you selling it here in the village, you have to add enough to get your home profit again. So that's the reason why the high in price of goods here in this area. I would prefer getting in this area than going outside. Because when you calculate the transport fare, everything together, it's almost the same thing.
Uru, on the other hand, owns a provision store and cooks for residents. He says, although he doesn't make enough profit unlike people in other communities, but with what he makes, he is able to put a roof over his head and send his children to school, as well as keep himself busy.
I just say, just be a meshai makers or Indomie makers. Just how they do that one. Thank God.
And you also sell
I also sell provision. Just only things only meshai makers I'll be. I'm not just say any kind of shop and other things. Now only eating something. Okay, thank God. Just thank God I'll get game. I'll use this business to feed my family. I have responsibility for my family to school and pay school fees for them. There's people that buy here past my tama, but the only things, the fries. The way how they sell fries for my tama is not the way how they sell for this local area.
People of Dogon Gada in Lokogoma community are hopeful of better days when more social aid and amenities will line up their community. Aisha Abdullahi, NTA News.
Okay, now let's take you to Kubwa community where we get an update about the roads in that community.
One of the fastest growing area councils in the Federal Capital Territory is Buari Area Council, which has 10 wards. Kubwa is one ward out of the 10, which has maintained a consistent growth of infrastructural development in terms of massive residential housing, projects and commercial buildings springing up in virtually every street. Unfortunately, what remains missing are good roads. A drive from the popular federal housing Kubwa through the Gado-Nasco Road indicates that residents and commuters find it difficult to wade through the roads due to several bad portions, failed segments, washed away by erosion or damaged due to poor quality construction work. Residents and motorists say the roads have been like this for more than 5 years. They appeal to relevant authorities to visit the area and commence remedial work on all the bad roads.
Road in Kubwa, just as you can see, from the legal balance, one can say Resapusa Lokuto. That is a thing that speaks for itself. Road in Kubwa is generally bad. Put it in that simplest form. It's generally bad. If you look around very well, you can see some self-efforts.
Some of the areas are not good. They are too bad. Like this junction, Liberty Junction, and Aso Drive Junction too. That place is very, very bad. Always cars go slow in the evening and in the morning. So, come on, help us please to repair the roads so that everywhere will be very, very good for us to go.
Also,
a drive through Liberty Junction, Arab Road, Kubwa, to another community known as Biaji. The NTA news crew caught up with a group of women who are referred to as able women. I sought to find out their mission on the road, but got a surprising story on how 19 of them came up to fix the roads, to avert accidents and loss of life. They say the intervention is also to help pregnant women and those in labor to have good access roads to the hospital.
Here we are standing is called Liberty Junction, precisely, and this is Biaji, precisely in Kubwa. This road was very bad, very, very bad, to the extent when it's raining, no cars pass at all. It's very, very deep. But you see these able women, I give them hand because they are doing wonderfully work right from across roads. If you go to across, it was very bad that no car can enter there. But they have done that.
I'm very sure the issue of road is something very peculiar to most communities in the FCT. But I think Kubwa residents should be rest assured that the FCT minister is making efforts to improve on road infrastructure across the nation's capital. Thanks for watching and join us for more stories from the territory next week on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the news station. I am Aisha Uba Ali. Good afternoon.